Richmond is off and running. Here in orange, number 15 Chapman is back in business with back-to-back wins to open the year. Number 24 TCU, coming off their best season in program history, looks to prove it wasn't a one-off. A chilly night here in orange, but a little bit warmer up here in the booth. Nico Schweikler, Mahal Domingo Anderson, Ryan Kaiser in just one moment. And Mahal, two teams who began the season flying colors so far this season, and the higher expectations certainly going to come with one winner here today.
Absolutely right. TCU coming off a program best 10-3 season. They're looking to build on that in whatever way they can. The Panthers, starting off 2-0, are looking to build off two really, really good games that have rocketed them up to 15th in the standings.
Texas Christian coming off their first double-digit win season in program history. MCLA, founded in 2006. It's the best for the Horned Frogs of all time. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, a couple seasons ago, they were in the national semifinal last year. A down year for them at 5-8. A big reason why they weren't able to close it out in those 2 goals or fewer games, going 2-6 in those contests. But certainly, the way they played this year has to feel like there's a new energy within the building.
Yeah, and they haven't really had to sort of, be in those high-stress, high-intensity endings of games. They've been blowing teams out, really, to say the least. At halftime, these games have been over, and much of it is due to their defense really just suffocating offenses so far.
The Panthers off to a hot start in the SLC after starting 1-5 last year. Big reason why the architects of both these squads, with Brody Cummins and Joel Callis, two of the best young minds within the game here in the country.
Yeah, like you said, Brody Cummins here in his second year, coming off a program best 10-3 season last year. That's a difficult, thing to build on. So how is he going to be able to build on that? Well, it starts potentially here with a big chance to upset the number 15 ranked Panthers here in Orange, California.
Both squads have coaches who used to play for their programs. TCU coming off a big-time win against Baylor a couple weeks ago. 20-6 the final score in that one. And a big reason why the MAC attack was in full effect. MAC summer camp, 6 points against the Bears.
Yeah, the MAC attack led with 6 points, also led with 4 goals. Panthers going to have to keep their eye on this guy all game long on the defensive end and not let him be the guy that punishes them potentially on the defensive side.
Joel Callis told us earlier that summer camp is a guy he has circled on his radar on the opposing scouting report. The big, strong lefty can strike from almost anywhere on the field in the attacking end, but you got to give a little bit of love as well to one of the specialists. And Joseph Kavanaugh, coming off a big game against Baylor, hopes to control the game in the middle of the field.
Yeah, like you said, really big game against Baylor. He had a really good year last year, going 110 and 101 overall in terms of face-offs. And face-offs are a big way in lacrosse for teams to be able to get ahead, be able to get possession of the ball, be able to get into the offensive end, be able to just set up your play, set up what you want to do offensively, and get the ball in the back of the net.
The senior from Greater St. Louis getting loose as he'll take on a trio featuring Eric Torrey, Cody Shevelson, and Ryan Beach. A little bit more questions on the Chapman side as far as face-off specialists. For one of these top young players on the attacking end, Jack Cutler has certainly proven himself to be one of the premier stars of this attacking unit.
Absolutely. Premier star is exactly right. Has led the team so far this year with 5 points, also has 3 goals and 2 assists. The sophomore is looking to lead this Panthers team, especially early in this game, get ahead like they've been able to do so far this year, and put the TCU Horned Frogs in a position that they don't want to be in.
Chapman lost their top 3 goal scorers from last season with Dante D. Kolbish, Jack Worth, and Josh Voman. Cutler has been up to the challenge thus far through 2 games. And another guy who's always been up to the challenge, the SLC Freshman of the Year, Ryan Sugar, once again coming through.
Yeah, the sophomore is going to come up huge today, potentially for Chapman. These are the, that's the class that they want to look to. Sugar, reigning Pearl Goalie of the Week after giving up just 12 goals in 2 games last week. That's all that's been going on this season. He has 26 saves already this season, so he's going to be huge in goal, and the Panthers will look to avoid giving up goals.
Sugar, one of the best goalkeepers within the country already in year number 2. And the main man within the cage has been phenomenal once again to begin this year. Only 12 goals allowed. And for more on the stud in the cage, we'll go downstairs to our very own Ryan Kaiser.
timbers are shivered. It's a ripe 50 degrees, but these athletes, they have energy though. They're about to face TCU. They're number 3 in their conference right now. That's just after last week. They got 2 out-of-conference wins. We spoke to Coach Callis, not too long ago, and he told us about one of the strategies that they were going to be employing for this game, and that's really centralizing communication when you have a really great goalie. So we'll see that more reflected, but back up to the booth.
Thank you so much, Ryan, as we'll send it down to the field for the national anthem and a moment of silence.
After moving to California, Scott became assistant coach for Chapman, winning the WCLL Division II championship in 1992, then became head coach until 1994. Scott was also known as Woody, Scott with 1 T, and Chatty Cathy. He was the life of the party and known for his storytelling and funny one-liners. He loved cheering for his Horned Frogs and the Denver Broncos, and listening to Jerry Jeff Walker. Scott was generous and continued to support the TCU lacrosse program. In 2022, when TCU last played at Chapman, Scott sponsored a joint team meal for both programs. Though he left this earth much too soon, on his 60th birthday no less, Scott's legacy will live on at both TCU and Chapman in the hearts of all who knew him. Please join together in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is 7 o'clock. If that does not get your heart rate up, I don't know what does. Welcome TCU, the Horned Frogs are in the house. 1-0, Lone Star Alliance. Gonna match up against Chapman, the Panthers, SLC Conference. Joel Callis at the helm, 2-0. It's Friday night, it's game time.
Here from Wilson Field, TCU taking on Chapman. Nico Schwegler alongside Mahal Domingo Anderson. These two teams faced off once before all the way back on April 3rd, 2022. TCU winning a nail-biter 16-15 in overtime, but both programs have certainly changed a lot ever since then. What are you expecting here tonight?
Yeah, 4 years between these two matchups. So much So much changes. TCU coming off program best 10-3 season last year. They are looking to start this season hot. 1-0 so far. They had their game against Texas get postponed, but you're coming here to Orange, coming out here to California, and you have an opportunity here to put a statement win on your record early in the season. They are going to look to do that, and the Panthers are going to look to deny it and get to 3-0 to start their season.
2022, the final year of the Dallas Hartley era here at Chapman before Joel Callis took over for the Panthers in 2023. This TCU squad, now led by Brody Cummins, spent 4 years as a goalie underneath Mark Purcell, then as a defensive assistant and eventually defensive coordinator for the man who was in charge of the Horned Frogs from 2016 to 2023. Starting lineups out there for TCU will include Cooper Coleman in the cage alongside number 19, William Glister. Also see out there AJ Guercio, Jake Vitznick, Billy Robertson, number 9. Also donning out there, Brandon Lee, Joseph Kavanaugh, the face-off specialist, donning the number 9. And both squads getting set for this one here at Wilson Field. Should be a good one. Double long pulls to begin the game for the Panthers as Eric Torrey and Kavanaugh face off. And the freshman from Menlo Atherton gets the Panthers underway. The Panthers so far in the first quarter outscoring their opponents 9-3. TCU also a very good team from last year at punching you in the mouth early.
Absolutely, and the Panthers, first offensive possession here, win the first face-off, get ready to punch in the mouth early if they can. That is exactly what they're going to look to do on this offensive possession.
Last time Ethan Rosselli played a night game against Cal in the home opener, he had a hat trick. Rosselli rips and scores! 35 seconds gone, and Ethan Rosselli has the Panthers on the board.
Punching them straight in the mouth, Nico. That's exactly how the Panthers wanted to start this game, and TCU coming out here a couple states away, not how they wanted to start.
One flick of the wrist to Tate Wardell gets it back, and Ethan Rosselli puts it home to put the Panthers up by 1. The sophomore transfer coming out of Concordia University, Irvine, not too far down the road, hailing from Tustin, California. He was stumped against Northeastern. Eric Torrey, another face-off win. And the Panthers looking for yet another quick start. They began the first half against Cal 7-1, 6-2 against Northeastern.
Yeah, and they didn't even have to do defensively much in either of those games. It just felt like they were on offense, punching straight away in each of those games. And they got a second offensive possession without having the ball touch their defensive half at all.
First lineup out there for the Panthers once again with Holden Walker, Tate Wardell, and Ethan Rosselli. Attacking unit including obviously Jack Cutler, the main man in the middle, Adam McDonald, and Brody Champion. Walker out for the freshman Wardell. Here's Rosselli from the wing. So much power on that left side, a strip down. Wardell, a flick up and over, nearly goes awry. Can Walker come away with it? Still a skirmish down on the near side. Wardell looks like he's got it and then lost the handle. And finally scooped and picked up by Mac Rodvold, first team all Lone Star Alliance last season in the midfield.
Yeah, felt like Wardell sort of just tried to, force it a little bit too much there offensively. You just got to, take what the defense gives you.
Here comes Ryder Peterson, and he has that one taken away. Rosselli comes away with the cost turnover, but the pass luckily goes into the net for Adam McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald just trying to get offense set here, trying to get the right guys, right personnel on the field, trying to get another offensive set going. The defense for Chapman just suffocating again right there, right away.
Fresh faces for Chapman, making an instant impact to begin this season. A few nearly costly errors to begin this game, and now in the hands of Keegan Sharpoon, one of 4 guys to play at CUI last season, now making their way over to don the red and black. Sharpoom, the quick fire, has it denied. And an emphatic flag comes out from the backside. Chapman with the chance on the power play.
Yeah, early opportunity just to punch in the mouth again.
Reginelli, 30 points last season. Sharpoom. Cutler with 20 left to shoot. Cutler inside, the bounce shot goes up and over. The Panthers will get a chance for a big-time power play coming up after the flag thrown. So far, good start from Joel Callis' offense.
Yeah, really good start. And you like the patience right there. Just trying to, you know, swing it around the perimeter of the defense. Don't force anything into the middle. Then you get your opportunity with the guy you want in Jack Cutler. And he almost goes in. Get nice save, though, on that end by Coleman.
Heard from Joel Callis earlier in the week. Trying to keep those quick passes moving. Try and break down this TCU block and attack the breakdowns. Rosselli already with one. Here's Wardell. Cutler. McDonald lost the handle on it. Spills out for Cutler. Wardell lines it up. Skates past the right side post. And Cooper Coleman can take a deep sigh of relief.
Yeah, that was a rocket almost there.
Wardell. And into the back of the net from Brody Champion. The Panthers double their lead, and it's looking like more of the same for the Party Cats.
Yeah, the offense just starting off hot once again. Brody Champion, the sophomore, getting in on the action right there. Just the Panthers doing exactly what they want to do.
2 transfers, getting 2 goals to begin this game. Champion with his second of the season after putting one past Cal in the home opener. Torian Kavanaugh once again. Finally, Kavanaugh able to come away with his first. We mentioned in the pre-show, went 20-9 in the win against Baylor. So far, a tougher task handling the freshman out of Menlo, California.
Absolutely, and face-offs matter so much. Chapman was 2-0 before that one, and they are up 2-0 right now. So look to see if TCU can get on the board and back into this game right here.
Ryder Peterson, freshman out of Denver. Shuffles his way towards X. Face-to-face gets taken down by Ursino. The inside slip. Hanamoto couldn't come away with it, and the reverse from Ryder Peterson will turn the ball over. The Panthers come up with their first defensive stop of the night.
Yeah, and TCU penetrated a little bit there, got close to the crease, close to the goal. Just couldn't quite get it steered on net. Just a little over-the-head backwards shot.
Ursino's lob up ahead for Lucas Losi. Flipped over for Champion. If you're TCU on this defensive possession, what are you looking for to make sure this doesn't go to a 3-goal deficit?
I think it's just not letting your defense get, expanded, get stretched. The Panthers have been able to do that so far. Can get really just one-on-one shots with the goalkeeper.
Reginelli, junior from Los Gatos. Inside slip and an easy clean up there for Cooper Coleman.
And that'll work for the Horned Frogs. But they got to start getting something offensively. Panthers haven't had to do a whole lot defensively, but when they have had, their name called, they've been able to keep it going.
Ball up ahead for Mac Rodvold. Led the team with 48 points last season. Now flip to the other side, past the left post. That shot from Ryder Peterson, the freshman, trying to make an instant impact in this one.
Yeah, Peterson was involved in a quarter of TCU's goals against Baylor, trying to get himself involved early there. Just turn to the guys that you know are going to be able to keep and stay involved.
Maybe a little too much fancy handwork there from Peterson. If he went for the straight-handed rip, it might be in the back of the net. Instead went for the around the world. Still with the Horned Frogs, 9 minutes left to play in this first quarter. Brody Champion, Ethan Rosselli getting the party started for Chapman on the offensive end. Fernandez, denied, not once but twice, and finally scooped up by the Panthers defense.
Panthers just getting in the way of everything, not letting any lanes to the goal open. TCU struggled with that a little bit so far today. Panthers gonna look to open some more lanes offensively.
Losi bullies his way past 3 TCU defenders But a violation in transition gets it back to the Horned Frogs. Here comes Peterson. Numbers going forward for TCU. The long pull launches into the back of the net. Billy Robertson cuts the deficit to 1. And we're off and running here in orange.
Beautiful little finish there. Just swing it around that right side and snipe it into the bottom corner.
Billy Robertson played at Division III Colorado College last season, now in his first year with TCU. And the long pole working from the midfield gets the Horned Frogs on the board here in Southern California. Torrey once again in a tussle with Kavanaugh. And a bit of extracurriculars, a flag will fly out, and it's a 6-on-5. Some early game frustrations already for the senior.
Absolutely, and the Panthers bench really likes that one. They're going to get an opportunity here to get another goal on the board.
I mean, it's a learning moment, a senior going against a freshman, but if you're Brody Cummins, what are you telling your face-off specialist after that?
It's just a question of why would you do that, you know? It's after the play, you know, you've lost the ball already. Why are you putting your team at a more of a disadvantage? And the Panthers, you got an advantage here. Can you take advantage of that advantage?
Kavanaugh, the only listed Fogo on the roster for TCU. Rosselli, champion. Couldn't squeak it into the window past Coleman. It'll stick with Reginelli and the Panthers in the corner.
Champion just looking for another little goal there. Already has one on the day.
Out to the X with McDonald. Always dangerous near the crease. Cutler. Coleman got a stick on it, and TCU stays alive, down by 1.
Yeah, trying to pull out a nifty little behind the back finish there. Just couldn't quite get it to fall home.
All the way up ahead for Rodvold. Panthers have to retreat. Wilkinson from the backside. Rodvold around the world. Denied by Sugar. And that one picked out of midair. Ryder Peterson already has his fingerprints all over this one. The trailer gets taken down. No foul call there. And out of the pack comes Ethan Rosselli.
Yeah, Panthers doing a good job just forcing guys around the net back to the X and around. But you got to be able to follow them all the way around the net if you're gonna push to do that.
Rosselli dodges and weaves. Out here for Broomfield, Colorado's finest, Holden Walker. Wardell, back-to-back games with a pair of goals for the freshman. Reginelli. Holden Walker lost the handle. Come back the other way is Vitznick. 4-on-3 for TCU. And they lost the handle. Panthers. It's moments like those that's going to come back for the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, Panthers quick charge here.
Champion in transition. It's money off the left hand. Brody Champion has his second.
Take advantage of you going the other way with some speed. TCU pushing some numbers forward. The Panthers push right back. Brody Champion with his second of the day already.
A pair of assists for the sophomore out of Ladera Ranch. Making a brace to begin this game in the first quarter. And he's already having an instant impact against TCU. Heard so much about these transfers for Chapman during the offseason, and it looks like the rest of these guys, but especially the champ, is finally arrived here in Orange.
Absolutely, and arrived he has, making an impact in today's game. 2 goals out of the 3 for the Panthers. He is making a difference on that right side. Look to the Panthers to utilize that again and again, because they are heavily favoring that side right now.
Here he is once more, a little flip over for Brody Bain, getting his first touches on the ball. Sabri. Third line of midfielders out there with Bain, Sabri, as well as Brett Enderle, junior transfer out of Moore Park. Enderle with the end around. And a foul goes against Chapman with the illegal pick from Sabri.
Offensively, the Panthers just look so comfortable right now, relaxed, being able to have their way. Doing the same thing defensively, TCU just got to make them a little bit more uncomfortable. It's a question of how you're going to do that, though, because the Panthers have been dominant thus far.
Rodvold pitched over for Carlo Miggins. He was one that Joel Callis had on his scouting report. That midfield tandem always causing problems, and of course Max Summercamp. Yet to see much of him so far in this one. Leahy, Fernandez. Quick cuts around for TCU. Rodvold dances. This low block working to perfection for the Panthers. Leahy lunging, gets it to go. Man, what a shot from Sean Leahy. And the Horned Frogs back in business.
Absolutely, just a little bounce pass, top corner finish. Beautiful finish, doing exactly what he has to do through contact, pushing through, bursting through, and finishing it.
3 points last season. He had 3 points against Baylor and gets an early one past Ryan Sugar. So far, the Panthers have been a first quarter team. They have yet to concede in the second quarter, and it looked like that might be the trend so far today, but TCU proving why they're a ranked squad.
Yeah, Panthers punching hard, TCU just punching right back, though. So far, such a good game.
Torrey takes yet another face-off. He's been out there for all of them, 13 and 13 to begin this season so far. He's had Joseph Kavanaugh's number.
He absolutely has, and it's led the Panthers just to be able to have their way offensively and be able to control the ball, control time of possession, and just set up their offense every chance they get. Instead of sort of pushing the other way fast and trying to get set up, they're just allowing themselves to set up, keep this ball in this midfield sort of, piece of the field.
Rosselli, the dip inside, just beyond the left post and coming back the other way. Rosselli jumping into the crease. Cooper Coleman held his ground strong.
Yeah, you like the idea there. Trying to pull a little acrobatic circus-like yak. Just couldn't quite get that to fall and obviously stepped in the crease, which is why TCU gets the ball right here.
The engine of the offense with Mac Rodvold in possession. Now for Peterson.
TCU got a chance to tie it up here if they can get something going.
Miggins goes one way, now averts back the other. Lucas Losi tattooed on him. To the Mac with Fernandez. Not much cutting happening for TCU, as I say, off the bar.
Oh, so close for TCU. Going right off the post. The Panthers just holding their block defensively, but every time it gets penetrated, TCU getting a nice little shot on goal.
Nico Orsino in a dogfight with Mac Rodvold. Rodvold takes that battle this time. That'll be a fun one between two players who are always contenders for all conference now in their senior years.
Absolutely, and sometimes that experience, just a little bit more physicality, a little bit more of, knowing what to expect, knowing what's needed to be able to gut out a win.
TCU back on the prowl. Fernandez flips, dips, and scooped up by Orsino in the end. Final 2:40 left in this first quarter. Panthers got out to a quick 2-0 lead. Ever since then, both programs trading blows in this first.
Absolutely, chance to break here quickly. A little bit of a numbers advantage for the Panthers.
Losi up there with Wilkinson. Sharapoom, long range missile! It's money from Keegan Sharapoom, partner.
Call him Shara. Boom, Nico. Top corner with the velocity.
You see him there, the trailer. And ever since he got that ball, you knew he only had one thing on his mind.
Absolutely, just winds up and fires it. And you could see how excited he was just knowing he gets that amount of space, he's going to nail it.
First goal of his Chapman career. The Monterey native had 4 last season for the Golden Eagles. Torrey and Kavanaugh in a kick fest. My goodness, how good has Eric Torrey been to begin this game?
Just dominant. We talked about face-offs in the intro to today's game. You didn't expect the Panthers to be this dominant.
Brody Champion makes a mess out of that one. TCU has a chance to strike back with a 3-on-2. The flip up over the other side. It's the second time today that we've seen TCU unable to capitalize in those easy counterattack situations.
And those are the chances you got to capitalize on. We talked about the Panthers just kind of sit in a block, and they force you to try and figure out how to penetrate them.
Sharpum took a tumble and then stripped away from him. In the end, what a play there from Luke Pay. Peterson, flip inside, and yet again, Mercer Fernandez unable to corral that one in.
Yeah, the pass is just a little bit off when they get up and running. They got to be able to take advantage because the Panthers' defense has been suffocating for the most part of this year and so far today.
Transition hasn't been the strong point so far for TCU. Now set up in their low block once again. Ben Carvalho out there with Sharpum and Rocco Reginelli on the second midline. Quick rip from Keegan Sharpum once again. Can't put in his second of the game. Final 60 seconds of this first quarter. If you're the Panthers, what are you looking for to make sure this is a 3-goal lead heading into the second frame?
Just control and play your game. That's what they've been able to do all game, really.
Reginelli, the inside feed. McDonald couldn't scoop it up. Quick flip out, final 45 here in the first. Rodvold.
4v3 here.
That one takes a deflection as Ryan Sugar had to be on high alert.
Yeah, and TCU, you get a numbers advantage. You got to take advantage of it. You know, they're just going a little bit too slow, or they're making an errant pass, and they just can't really have that if you want to be able to be in a game and make an upset over a really good Panthers team.
That long ball just beyond the grass, but Brody Champion, he's been perfect so far. Can't corral that one in. Final 17 seconds here in orange in the first quarter. And an offside against TCU, not the way that the Horned Frogs want to end out this first quarter. Rosselli wants to make him pay. But the defense for Texas Christian comes alive. Final second, no dice in the end for either squad. The Panthers up by 2, and it's been back and forth ever since the first couple of minutes.
It really has, and both teams have looked pretty solid. TCU, you got to be a little bit better in transition, be able to, make your passes, get chances on goal. They haven't been able to do that. But for the Panthers, you've been able to play your game, do exactly what you want to do, and it's led you to be able to be up 4-2.
Chapman popped them in the mouth with 2 quick goals in succession. TCU with a nice response to close out the quarter. They still trail by 2, and for a team, for Texas Christian, who outscored their opponents by 17 in the first frame, how are you looking to respond if you're Brody Cummins?
I think it's just come out, win your face-offs first and foremost, because they've lost almost all of the face-offs so far today. They got to win their face-offs, be able to set up your offense, and be able to just get your offense flowing and moving, because it's been in transition, or it's been a little bit just, janksty, for lack of a better term.
TCU looking for answers. Joseph Kavanaugh can certainly be one of them with the face-off specialist. Meanwhile, on the Chapman side, the transfers. New faces and new places certainly shining through so far on this third game of the season.
Absolutely. Brody Champion, 2 goals already, sophomore making a difference. So the Panthers, you're just doing exactly what you want to do, I think, and continue doing that and make a few more shots, and you find yourself, I think, in a very different ballgame.
Joel Callis firing up the squad, trying to keep this team focused. 5-8 last season, already 2-0. They began 2 seasons ago with a 6-0 record, climbed all the way up to the #1 team in the MCLA. Not necessarily sure if they'll get all the way up there by season's end. However, going from a team outside the top 25 to number 15 with 2 games already gone, certainly a confidence booster for this squad.
Absolutely, and it shows kind of just how they've played, because to be able to make a jump like that, it doesn't just mean that you've won 2 games. It means that you've won handily and you've been able to dominate and show that you are a good team.
Second frame, the only one that the Panthers won against their opponents last season. Also, Chapman has yet to concede within this second quarter in the first 2 games against Cal and Northeastern. Torrey and Kavanaugh actually make that Ryan Beach out there for the Panthers. And Chapman's benefits on the faceoffs coming through once again as Orsino scoops it up.
Yep, setting up the offense, getting the right personnel on the field, just taking your time to get forward and get going and make an attempt on goal.
Top unit out there to begin this second quarter. This TCU defense had some problems with Rosselli, Champion, and the rest of this squad to begin that first. Walker maneuvers to the outside for Brody. Champion had 2 in that first quarter. So far the difference in this game.
Absolutely, and he'd like that right side here.
Walker from the X. Spins and shifts, breaks some ankles. Champion off the skirt of the net, picked up by Adam McDonald.
And flies just right at the goal there.
Here's Rosselli. Good rotation there from the Horned Frogs on the defensive side. The rip. That one from Holden Walker. They want him certainly to get a little bit more comfortable on the offensive end after a big year in year number 2.
Yeah, you absolutely do, but that's how you're going to get him open, get him opportunities. Move it to the X, move it quickly to the other side to a guy that's open.
Cutler's been the hot hand recently. A bounce pass, we'll call it for Rosselli, who puts it in for his second of the game.
Ethan Rosselli comes out with a hat trick against Cal and already has a brace today. Chapman lead 5-2, and they are punching early.
The main man says, look what I found. And Cooper Coleman can only look at that ball go into the back of his net.
Yeah, a little shot just goes to the right of the net. Rosselli picks it up, fires it on the ground. A little bounce shot, back of the net, exactly what you want.
Kavanaugh once again having problems, this time with Ryan Beach. This Chapman faceoff unit, which has struggled at times this season, been the X factor to begin this game. Low C, top corner and in! Put it on a highlight reel for the junior.
Bang! You get a little lane and you fire it top corner the Panthers. Dominating so far, ripping shots, finding the bottom corner, finding the top corner, hitting everything and anything.
Henry Crowe says, hype me up on that sidelines. Lucas Losi. Not the guy you'd expect to have the scoring prowess, but he certainly didn't make any mistake with that one. The Chapman Panthers rolling so far here in orange.
Absolutely no question. He was ready for that opportunity. He saw green and he took it.
And McDonald senses the opportunity. These Panthers playing with fire in the first half to begin this season. McDonald straight into the safe hands of Cooper Coleman for the first time this quarter.
Yeah, the Panthers are just punching offensively. You could call them the punching Panthers of the first half so far this year.
If you're TCU, what are you looking for on this offensive possession?
Just slow the game down. Let yourself, play your game. They've been a little bit too quick. They've made mistakes, and the Panthers have made them pay.
Higgins, out from Mercer Fernandez. Pandis got a pull on it. TCU looks frazzled right now. Can this offense quell some of the nerves that the defense currently has? Outside feed, a rip, takes a deflection off of Russell Wilkinson.
Yeah, when one unit of your team starts to struggle, when one unit, is not playing their best, you need the other unit to pick them up. And for TCU, they need the attacking unit to pick up their defensive unit right now.
Robertson, Rovald, now with Peterson. Ryan Sugar, once again, comes away with it. This Chapman defense unrelenting, as we'll send it down to the sidelines where Ryan Kaiser has some more.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks Nico. I've been chilling behind Ryan Shugard's goal over in the first quarter, and I wanted to talk to you guys or explain a little bit more about that technique I introduced you in that pre-show. So Ryan Shugart is really kind of like think of commander-in-chief. He's really commanding the defense, because the defense of Chapman's men's lacrosse is so young, primarily first-year students and transfer students. He's going to be the one in charge, so that kind of alleviates any stress about decision-making from these pretty young Chapman lacrosse players in that sense. So there's definitely been a lot of heavy communication when he was over by the goal. Over here, of course, they've switched now that we're in the second quarter with 11 seconds on the clock, but seems to be doing well. Chapman is leading TCU by 4 points. Back to you, Nico. Thanks.
Yeah, Ryan, it's one of those things that Joel Callis told us about earlier in the game, as Brody Champion can't find his first half hat trick. Callis saying that Sugar, for as good as he was last year, wanted him to step up a little bit more in year number 2, commanding the defense, being a bit more vocal. Certainly feels like something's changed, because this defense looks unstoppable to begin this year.
They absolutely do, and if you just look at the way their feet move with offensive players when they're defending, if it's a one-on-one, they're just not letting any space get through. Offensive players, they twist, they turn, but the attackers find no space with the defensive players of Chapman just punishing them.
Guercio maneuvers past 3. Guercio down Broadway. What a pick out, and finds Sugar to the rescue.
To the rescue is right, putting himself on the turf and just stopping anything that comes his way.
Luke Pay on the shot, San Juan Capistrano native coming back home. Second leading goal scorer for TCU last season. But Ryan Sugar has been up to the task all season long. Horned Frogs still with just a pair of goals on the board. Quite frankly, compared to what Northeastern and Cal did, I have to say that's pretty good for TCU, considering the way that Chapman's played this season.
Yeah, it's been much of the same so far from TCU compared to the Cal and Northeastern games.
Cutler lost the handle on it and picked out by Billy Robertson, who got the first goal of the game for the Horned Frogs.
Panthers, they led 7-1 at halftime against Cal, led 6-2 against Northeastern at half, so much of the same. 6-2 right now. Panthers need 1 goal to match their season high in the first half.
Robertson couldn't pick that one up. It's a foot race towards the sideline, and Luke Pay can't get there as he runs out of real estate.
Panthers are just really having their way, and when a team is having their way in any sport, it means good things. And for the Panthers, it's meant leading 6-2, dominating games, doing everything they got to do.
Holden Walker putting players in the spin cycle. Andrew York, his latest victim, is now the Panthers can finally set up into that offense. Tate Wardell, we've called his name quite a few times last weekend. He looks for his first goal here.
Panthers just doing a good job being patient.
Wardell, the rip, up and over. Cutler, closest one to it for Chapman.
Yeah, I talk about the patience there. Not sure if that's the shot that necessarily exemplifies patience.
Whipped out for Walker. Inside drive, double team, able to maneuver out of one. And a timeout taken by Joel Callis. 8:24 left on the clock in this second quarter. And the fourth-year head coach certainly has to be pleased, trying to make sure that this team is able to extend this lead and extend this dominance that they've had in these first half. Brody Cummins, have to wonder what he's thinking down on that sideline.
Yeah, you got to wonder, what does he tell his team? How does he get his team, back in this game? They've traveled out from Texas out here to California. They just look a little bit tired, a little bit, too relaxed. How do you get your team fired up? How do you get them energized? Especially when you're down 6-2 early and you've just been punched in the mouth by the Panthers. So it's talk to your team, get them ready to go, get them knowing what they got to do to get back into this game, inspire some confidence, and just inspire your team.
We take a look at that last goal from Ethan Roselli. And Roselli always on point. Chapman up 6-2 here in the second quarter. Number 15 team in the nation. putting it on against number 24 in the latest MCLA poll. And these Panthers looking revitalized. Clay Eggerman has this offense, new life in this offense in particular. Jack Cutler, Adam McDonald, and a lot of those transfers making big-time plays to begin this season.
Yeah, and the Panthers offense, they're just finding a way to be able to find lanes to the goal, be able to find shots where there's not a defender in the way. And for TCU, you got to get bodies in the way, put your body on the line, because in order to get back into this game, you got to stop the Panthers from scoring first and foremost.
Callis, cooking so far this season. TCU, I mean, they were up 12-3 against Baylor in that first game. Obviously didn't get to play last Saturday against Texas. That would have been a big-time game for them against their biggest rivals. But if you're this Texas Christian squad, where's the answer? Who are you looking for? Because we haven't seen a lot of Max Summercamp. We haven't seen Mac Rodvold on the score sheet so far. Where are you going to if you're Brody Cummins to quell some of these nerves?
Yeah, I think you just said the two guys right there. It's the Mac attacks. You need both of those guys to get involved because those are your two best offensive players in many senses. Rodvold leads in assists so far this year with 4. So see what you can do. Get them involved. How come they haven't been on the ball offensively?
Reset with Holden Walker. Chapman looks to make this a 5-goal lead out of the timeout. A right-handed rip from Jack Cutler. Whistles past the left post.
Panthers are just playing with a confidence right now that they know that they're the big dog on the field, that they can have their way, do what they want.
Champion squirrels it out. Wardell whips it. Rosselli lets it run towards the byline. TCU comes up with a defensive stop out of the timeout. Now a chance to have the deficit on the offensive end.
You know, we'll see if Coach Cummins will make any changes here after the timeout. Opportunity to make a difference offensively.
Miggins near the midline, out for Mac Rodvold. Losi was lurking around. Peterson's got his fingerprints on the ball a few times so far, especially in that first quarter. Rodvold. Outside whip, Tyler Pandis. How good has Panda been in year number 3?
I mean, the whole defensive unit just so dominant, so good.
Best Panther at causing turnovers. Still with TCU. Anthony Mills gets right into the chest of Carlo Miggins. This Chapman bench, this Chapman crowd fired up. And the bounce shot goes up and over Ryan Sugar. It's been a calm evening so far, but the first power play of the game for TCU, a chance for new life in this second quarter.
Yeah, just a little bit too much contact that time. The Panthers defenders, they love to use contact. They love to not let you have any shot that you're trying to get. They want to make it difficult for you, and they made it a little bit too difficult that time, Nico.
First real test of adversity for Joel Callis' squad. Monomoto out there with Pandis, Colin Sproul, the freshman, Rosselli in the long pole, Russell Wilkinson. Actually make that Ursino. Out there with the short stick, D. Mitty. Fernandez zips it to Miggins. Rodvold and TCU currently orbit the perimeter. A flip and shot into the top corner and in.
45, Sean Leahy.
Sean Leahy, his second of the game, and TCU a lifeline in the second quarter.
They're just patient, patient, patient. Get an opportunity, take your shot, take advantage.
A brace for him. Disappointment for Ryan Sugar in the end. Now the most goals he's conceded in a first half this season. I have to say 3's not too bad.
maybe not too bad overall, too. 3 goals all they've given up so far this season in the first half.
I mean, I'm fortunate that he's out there because I probably would allow about 30 because that does not look like a fun job. Anthony Mills certainly has a tough task, but he makes it look easy either way for the Panthers.
Absolutely. Broken stick there on the field.
There's Drake Lazewski, who has to run all the way back to the bench, get a equipment change while he's there. Carvalho, Reginelli. Champion had the 2 in the first, been quiet so far in this second with 5.5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, just haven't seen that space that he used in the first quarter really be able to be open.
Carvalho, Champion connects! Right on cue, you just got to talk about him. And Chapman back up by 4.
Give him the hat because that's his hat trick. He doesn't need that one space he was utilizing. Get closer, get more in front of the goal, stay central, and rip it bottom corner.
Carvalho with the assist. Brody Champion, tip of the cap for the hat trick. And the Panthers, once again, every single time TCU scores, it feels like they have the answer.
Yeah, they give up a goal and they just punch them right back in the face. Another goal for the Panthers, another 7-goal first half.
Cody Shevelson out there for the first time today. And look at the junior getting down and dirty. A flag flies as you take a look at the last goal from Brody Champion. Chapman back on the power play after the face-off.
Crowd getting a little bit of energy here, trying to get themselves a little bit even more involved than they've already been, but such a dominant first half thus far for the Panthers. You can see some of the crowd there.
Just shout out to the crowd. It's been a chilly night and a chilly past couple of days here in Southern California. I know for probably everyone else around the country, you're probably saying, like 60, high 50s, not that bad. But still, something's brewing in the air, and something's definitely brewing in the air for these Panthers early in this season. A rip takes a deflection off of Cooper Coleman.
Shot clock at 58.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nico. Maybe a chilly night, but Panthers came out hot.
Wardell. McDonald on the wraparound. Cutler from the top. Champion from the corner. Off the skirt once again, and Coleman comes to collect.
I love the way that the Panthers just spread out their attackmen and just create a hole really in the middle that they can sort of try and take advantage of. Didn't work that time, but they're doing the right things offensively to create space, and it's led to them paying dividends here in the first half.
Mitznick, a flip of the stick out for Mac Rodvold. Mac attack with 1 goal, 4 assists in that win against Baylor. One of 3 Horned Frogs with at least 5 points in that first win against the Bears 2 weeks ago. TCU down by 4. Mercer Fernandez. A chance to change the story. A flag comes out. Power play incoming for Mac Rodvold. Pandis once again causing havoc on the defensive side, but the Panthers once again will have to play a man down, and last time that happened, TCU was able to get a goal in the back of the net.
Yeah, Callis can't be happy with these penalties that the Panthers are conceding. If you're up by this much, those are the type of just things you don't want to be doing. You've pushed them already out to the edge. You've pushed them already away from your goal. Why are you committing a penalty there when, you know, you're pushing them away? They're turned away. You're goal side of them.
Chance to capitalize for TCU. They fake the low rip. And Brody Champion will collect. And that's exactly what Brody Cummins was not helping for on the power play.
Absolutely not. You get a power play, you get a chance to get yourself a little bit closer, get another inch closer towards the Panthers. You just cannot take advantage at all.
Ethan Rosselli, patient as always.
Panthers offense just playing their game, taking some patience. They know they're up. They know they can do what they want, so try something new, try something different.
Rosselli had the opener already with 2 goals today. Slices his way inside. Walker. McDonald on his favorable right hand. Wardell and picked out of midair. What a pluck from the sky by Mac Rodvold.
TCU gotta have it here, chance, take advantage.
The rip, back in the net. Lucas Marks, the sophomore from Connecticut, keeps TCU in it.
Yeah, get themselves right back in it, take advantage on transition there for the first time today.
We've seen them have their mishaps, getting turnovers and then unable to capitalize. Certainly did not make a mistake on that one. The senior leading the charge, the sophomore slotting it away.
Absolutely, you get a little 4-on-2 there. Spread your offensive players out, create some space, make it difficult for the Chapman defenders, and they get their goal.
Final 2-12, Eric Torrey back into the game. Kavanaugh causing chaos as always. And a pinball rummage. It's out for Eric Torrey. If you're TCU with these final 2 minutes of the first half, how do you make sure this game is within arm's reach heading into the second?
I think you just don't concede again. Got to be the biggest thing you do first and foremost. Cannot give up another goal, cannot let this get back with the Panthers punching back after conceding another goal, because we've seen them punch back after pretty much each and every TCU goal so far today.
Panthers have only conceded 6 goals in both their games to begin the year against Cal and Northeastern. TCU on track for a better result so far tonight. But the Chapman offense once again lighting up the score sheet here in Southern California. Reginelli swings it for Carvalho. Stripped away, coming back the other way. Gavin Bacher.
Well done by TCU there. Get the ball back. Couldn't quite get the transition fast break they wanted, though.
Timeout taken by Brody Cummins. 55 seconds left in this first half for the Horned Frogs. What are you looking for on this next possession to make sure this is a 2-goal game heading into the half?
Just make it difficult for the Panthers. Got to have, a chance to get into the space where you can fire a shot and not have Panthers defenders in the way. Make sure that it's difficult for them to know who they're defending. Make sure they have to switch and they have to move. Whether you're on the ball, whether you're off the ball, make it difficult and create space for your teammates.
Joel Callis usually has the answer. Same question for the Chapman side. How do you make sure you don't concede?
Just do what you've been doing. Stay set, stay where you are. That's exactly what Callis is going to be telling his team. Be who you are. Be the defenders that you guys know you are, and just do and play your game.
You see Ryan Sugart on the left side of your screen. SLC Freshman of the Year. Has been a menace all season long, but TCU causing some problems from early in this first half. Most goals that Sugart's conceded so far in the first 30 minutes of any of Chapman's 3 games. Second all-time matchup between these two squads. TCU 4 years ago, taking that one in overtime. The Panthers hoping for a little bit of revenge. Nobody on the current squad who played in that game. You might see Jackson Stevens in there with the black jacket, has the mustache. He was on that team that lost to TCU back in 22.
Absolutely, and the Panthers just gonna look to close this half out, keep it 7-4, maybe even potentially get it to 8-4, because they want to go into half with a nice, healthy, comfortable lead.
Colin Sproul, Tyler Pandish, Shannon Hanamoto trying to bring back that elite unit from 2023, Joel Callis' first year with the team known as the Swamp. They completely swamped their opponents on the defensive side. Jackson Stevens' nickname was Gator. Big reason why this team was able to get all the way to a national semifinal. Still a long way away from Richmond, Virginia, but it certainly seems like the Panthers have come to play in 2026.
They absolutely have, and they've looked so good in first halves of games so far this year. Just looking to continue that fashion in the last 45-ish seconds.
Fernandez down to the final 30 seconds on the clock. A spin around with Pandis there to meet. And a bobble picked up by Anthony Mills, the sophomore, has been fantastic. Final 15 of this first half, and TCU cannot capitalize.
Yeah, not at all what Cummins drew up there at the timeout. Didn't get what he wanted. He cannot be happy.
Final 3 seconds. Last chance effort. And Chapman goes into the halftime break up by 3, 7-4. A back and forth second, similar to the end of the first quarter. And for both these squads, it feels like both these teams are where they want to be. If you're TCU, how do you get back and really challenge in these first few minutes of the third quarter?
Yeah, I think it's just make some changes defensively, make sure that what Chapman is doing offensively and just creating space, creating holes, don't let them do that. Push them away. Push them into uncomfortable shooting positions, because for the Panthers, offensively, it's just been a little bit too easy for TCU's liking.
Joel Callis has been pushing all the right buttons on both sides of the ball for Brody Cummins. It's been a little bit up and down, however, TCU hanging around. We'll see how both these teams fare in the second half coming up. But for this Chapman squad in particular, just how good does it have to feel the way that this offense is clicking, particularly out of the gate?
Absolutely, and you just want to start your season always on the right foot, and they have started much on the right foot so far this season, just dominating first quarters, second quarters, and first halves all season.
Absolutely. As we go down towards the field, TCU trying to come up with a few answers on the defensive side. This high-powered Chapman offense always commanding this team. If you're the Horned Frogs, we mentioned the Mac attack with Mac Rodvold. Haven't seen much of Mac summer camp. Is there anyone else you're looking for TCU to come through in this second half?
Yeah, I think Ryder Peterson could be another guy you look to. He's second in assists so far this season, so look to see if he can get involved more in this game.
Same question on the Chapman side. We've seen so many guys step up. Brody Champion already with a hat trick. Ethan Rosselli. Is there anyone else that you're thinking might be the X factor to close out these final 30 minutes?
Yeah, I like Adam McDonald also. Talked about him a little bit, but he's tied for the team lead heading into today with 5 points. He has 3 goals, 2 assists heading into the day. So look to see if he can get a little bit more involved. Same thing with Tate Wardell. See if he can get a little bit more involved. The freshman who has been very good, has 2 goals, both of the previous 2 games for the Panthers. So just spread the ball around a little bit more.
You see all the players down there for Chapman. Not a coach in sight, but all smiles for these party cats. Nico Orsino riling up the group. Senior captain, former All-American, was an All-America honorable mention last season as a short stick D-midi. And Jack Duffy has this crew rolling with the bagpipes, the tradition ever since he got here 4 years ago. And it certainly has come to play for the Panthers in this one.
Absolutely. Unique tradition and unique play so far today from the Panthers, and all season they have been dominant.
We take a look at these first half highlights. Ryder Peterson, one of those guys you expect to make a big impact in that second half, but it's been Ethan Rosselli and Brody Champion carrying the way for the Chapman offense.
Absolutely has, and you can see him just making a difference, finding some space. That was a nice finish. You've seen top bins, bottom bins for both these teams be the areas where they looked. TCU, they've looked to bounce the ball on shots.
What a missile from Keegan Sharpoon. What a way to get your first career collegiate goal. And you have to say the face-offs for Chapman. There were a lot of questions. Eric Torrey proved to be one of the top guys for this Panthers squad, but he was still 500 heading into today. He, as well as Cody Shevelson and Ryan Beach, have so far gotten the number of Joseph Kavanaugh.
Absolutely. And we talked about Kavanaugh in the open. He won nearly 70% of his face-offs last time out when they faced Baylor. So the Panthers being able to get face-offs, being able to do what they want to do in that sense and be able to get their offense set up and rolling has led and paid dividends for them.
Joel Callis down there with the coaching staff. They say Clay Eggman, his right-hand man, came in last season as the offensive coordinator. Something certainly clicked this season compared to last, and the offense firing on all cylinders. A few more stunned faces on the TCU side in the meantime. Cooper Coleman, so far a decent game within the cage, but how can the defense as well as the goalkeeper find their groove in this second half?
Yeah, it's felt like Coleman hasn't had, much chance on a lot of the goals. The Panthers have just gotten open shots, gotten the chances that they want, and for the defensive unit for TCU, it's how do you get in the way and make it a little bit more difficult for these Panthers players to get shots?
TCU still looking for those answers. Crowd certainly has been in full effect. Chilly few days here in Orange, but it certainly hasn't stopped the crowd from coming out to support both these squads. TCU fans traveling well here today.
Absolutely. You've seen fans from both of these teams. You've seen both these teams show up also pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see what changes each of these teams make going into the second half, because for the Panthers, well, you're up 3 goals. Well, it's 7-4. Compared to what the rest of the season has been for them, leading 7-1 against Cal and 6-2 against Northeastern. How do you make some changes, be able to make sure your second half is exactly what you want it to be in order to pull out this win?
As we take a look at the next few games on the slate for both these teams, Chapman play Cal Poly next Friday. TCU taking on San Marcos tomorrow. We'll have more on that coming up here on CSBN. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up. Chapman up 7-4 against TCU. This top 25 matchup between number 15 and number 24. So far, going the way of red and black. What can purple and white conjure up in these final 30 minutes? Second all-time meeting between these two programs. And Eric Torrey facing off against Joseph Kavanaugh. Once again, the freshman has been on one so far as a face-off specialist here tonight.
Absolutely has. Another face-off win there for the Panthers, and it's led them just to be able to do exactly what they want. Sound like a broken record at this point, but the Panthers just having their way today.
Ryan Sugar, most goals conceded in a first half this season with 4. Only allowed 1 to Cal in the home opener 2 days later. Gave up just 2 to the Northeastern Huskies.
Absolutely, and well, it's the most he's given up this season in a first half. Still a very good half for the Panthers, defense and goaltender.
Holden Walker still looking for his first of the game. Keeps it all the way to the X. Face to face with Ralph. Cutler cannot connect. It does not go over the line. It looked like it might have squeaked over. Fortunate break for TCU to begin the second half.
Absolutely thought that one might have touched the back of the net, but not there for the Panthers. Now TCU an opportunity to punch back and see if they can get a goal here early in the second half.
Iger Peterson, Mac Rodvold, Carlo Miggins. That first line of midfielders, you mentioned it during the halftime, partner. Those 3 certainly ones to watch heading into this final 30.
Absolutely. We'll see if TCU can get them more involved.
Leahy had 1 in the first half. My goodness, it was a showstopper this time. It's the defensive prowess of the Panthers that comes through. Losi. Up ahead for McDonald.
Donald slows it down there. See if they can get the Panthers offense going, setting something up here.
Panthers struck within the first 35 seconds of this game, courtesy of Ethan Rosselli. Sophomore transfer already with 2 goals. Brody Champion, another sophomore transfer, likewise from CUI, with a hat trick in that first half to pave the way for the Panthers. Cooper Coleman equal to effort on that shot from Keegan Sharapoo.
Yeah, nice little save there. Couldn't quite get Sharapoo finding the back of the net. TCU need their goalkeeper to step it up, be able to make some saves here.
Nice little flip out there from Andrew York. As Russ Wilkinson unrelenting with the long pull. Here comes Rodvold. Yet to see him get on the score sheet. He had 4 assists against Baylor in that 20-6 opening win for TCU. Both teams were supposed to be playing 2 games heading into this one, but the Horned Frogs game against top-ranked Texas in the LSA got postponed on Valentine's Day. A rip and a deflection. Can't quite tell if that went off a defender or Ryan Sugar. Either way, sticks with TCU on the offensive end.
Yeah, TCU being patient a little bit more here in the second half, third quarter, trying to get something set up. You see it again here. Get some space between you and the defender, you and the goal, and see if you can open something up.
Rodvold shimmies the back door and the top corner and in. TCU strikes first in the second, and Mercer Fernandez on the board for the first time today.
Nasty little left-handed top left finish. You see it here. Get through some contact. No look, top bins.
Money Mercer led the team in goals scored last season, and he continues his stellar scoring campaign as a TCU Horned Frog to pull the lead back within 2.
That's the start that TCU was looking for here at the second half. Stop the Panthers' offense, get your offense a goal early. Now 11:31 to go in the third quarter. See if they can get within a goal here.
Eric Torrey collapsing on that one from the jump, but coming back the other way, Billy Robertson, the long pull. A bounce shot gets kicked away by Ryan Sugar. And a push in the back will go against TCU. Or excuse me, that's against Chapman. Fernandez with the latest goal, pitches it out for Mac Rodvold. Ryan Sugar.
Rodvold yet to really get involved here, see if he can get himself involved.
Inside feed, the whip around, nearly had it there. The sophomore goaltender been up to par so far in this second half. However, the Horned Frogs applying a bit more pressure than they did in the first. The low rip, Sugar once again there to stuff it.
Sugar takes the light away from that shot, but TCU, they're finding space in front of the net really here for the first time today. So you see some halftime changes that have already paid off for them. See what else they'll be able to do, see if they have any other changes to pull out of the bag.
We've sung the praises of this Panthers defense, but Joel Callis reminding us earlier this week, it's still a young defense, still with many areas left to grow despite the stellar start to the year.
Absolutely. He also discussed communication being key in this defense, and them being young, sometimes that can have a little bit of a lapse. So for TCU, making it difficult for them to communicate and forcing more communication might be a route towards goal.
Walker winds his way towards the right side. Champion has his fourth. Yet another bullseye for double eight.
Have a day, Brody Champion. Right side, using that stick to perfection. Bottom left corner that time. 4 goals on the day. Panthers punch back.
We said it in the first half. The champ has arrived, and all 6'2" of him gets around all of those TCU defenders. And look at the strength, the concentration, the precision to put that one away.
Yeah, he sees the window between 2 defenders, takes that window, takes that shot, and says, thank you very much, have the back of the net.
TCU was able to find a way to put goals past Ryan Sugar in that first half, but as we said, feels like the Panthers always pounced back with a goal of their own. And a big check in the back, a flag will fly. Brody Champion, the hero one time, now a villain to all the TCU fans in attendance.
Absolutely. Hard hit there, contact sport, of course. Just making sure his presence is known even beyond just the 4 goals.
Joel Callis has to like the physicality that his team has played with to begin this year. Maybe not that much on most occasions, however. Champion always trying to set a tone, and it's certainly working as TCU turns it over.
Yeah, not a good turnover there from TCU. Do not want that when you saw the bench react not in a positive manner, to say the least.
Sabri near the timeline. Scurries his way towards the 30-yard line. Panthers have been able to play patiently all game long with the multi-goal lead. Sabri. Now for Brody Bame. Can the freshman have his magic moment? Champion nearly made a mess of it, now calm and collected, scoops it up. Champion, a long-range rip, has it deflected, and TCU can get forward with numbers.
Tried to find the top left corner, but good save there from Coleman.
Inside dip, Fernandez unable to carom that one in. It'll stick with TCU, but these transition plays for the Horned Frogs just not going their way. Robertson just near the right foot, a big check from Colin Sproul.
Sweet sugared, what a save that was. Just taking that right foot, getting it in the way, pushing it away from goal.
Over half this third quarter removed. Both these teams just with 1 goal on the board. Rovold. Here is the senior. Now face to face with the sophomore transfer, Luke Sewell. Rovold into the back of the net. Sugar has to do the splits, and Mac Rovold The Mac Attack has finally arrived.
We've been talking about it all day, Nico. We've been wanting the Mac Attack, and Big Mac Rovold finally finds the back of the net.
You see him there, looked like Luke Sewell had him in a straitjacket. Instead, the senior uses all that experience through a double team nonetheless and gets it past arguably the best young goalkeeper in Southern California.
Absolutely, and you've just seen the bottom sort of third of the goal be the area TCU has scored from and attacked.
Beach back out there. Slow roller. Still anyone's, and Russ Wilkinson, steady as always, trying to fend off 3 different Horned Frogs, and TCU a chance to pull within 1.
Wilkinson loses his shoe and sock there as well. Barefoot on the left foot.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen a sock go off. I've seen a shoe go off. That's got to take quite a bit to be barefoot out on that field.
Yeah, you can imagine that probably didn't feel nice getting that pulled off your foot there. Cold night as well.
We got a little shoe toss into the corner. The rip off the bar, it hits the iron.
That's got to be the 3rd, 4th time they've hit the iron today, Nico. They just can't quite get those posts to fall in their way. It's almost as if the Chapman goal is a few inches smaller.
TCU trailed by 3 for most of this game. Now a chance to pull within 1, down 8-6. Peterson navigates, falling to his knees, had it taken away. And Anthony Mills taking cookies, taking ankles, finally dislodged, but into the hands of George Walter.
Panthers just taking every hit and hitting even harder, just keeping the ball, keeping possession. TCU not letting them slow it down the way the Panthers have been able to most of this game, and now they'll finally get the opportunity to and set up their offense.
Holden Walker waits for Tate Wardell, the freshman. Had a big weekend to begin his collegiate career. So far, nothing tonight. Walker. Wardell from the X. McDonald zips it out towards Wardell. Cutler with the pick. Chapman taking down this clock. Rosselli off the right hand.
I'm going to go girl step style.
Just not quite there, trying to guide it into the top corner. Couldn't quite get it. Chapman, though, maintains possession of the ball. They're just trying to get the right opportunity, trying to get the right chance on goal that they like.
Rosselli with 2 in that first half, been quiet so far in the second. Holden Walker denied once again. Cooper Coleman been equal to effort many times in this 3rd quarter. And finally picked up by Peterson. 3-on-2 for TCU. Fernandez, tic-tac-toe!
Tiki Taka Nico going down the side. Looked like he might have wanted to go left, but instead goes right. They still get to the left side, and they just knock it right on in.
Peterson to Fernandez, and it's Luke Pay to put it home for TCU.
Luke Pay making the Panthers pay for that space. That 3-on-2 TCU takes advantage of.
The deposit from Pay, San Juan Capistrano native. I have to say, a difficult grab of the ball as well, high up in the air.
Absolutely, stays in the air, collects it, and just, you know, moves it right into the net like it's a header.
For the first time this year, Chapman has conceded more than 6 goals in a game. TCU back within 1, down 8-7, with 4:30 left in this 3rd quarter.
Panthers got to find a way to punch back here. TCU gaining a little bit of momentum, gaining a little bit of confidence. They're feeling like themselves once again here in the second half.
And that confidence coming through on the defensive end once again.
21, poke check.
Rodvold pokes it away. And now the Horned Frogs a chance to tie. The senior leads the charge once again.
Just a little bit too much space for the Panthers' liking here offensively for TCU. TCU getting on a little bit of a fast break every once in a while, and it's allowing them to take advantage and find space towards net.
Miggins, money! Carbon copy on the score sheet. TCU ties it up.
Money Miggins taking it to the right, taking it and finding the top bins. Nice finish from him to tie it up.
My goodness, not used to seeing Ryan Sugar be beaten this many times in a quarter. But it's 4-1 in the third, and the Horned Frogs now howling at the moon.
Absolutely, they take the halftime adjustments, and the Horned Frogs not only back in this game, but they are feeling confident and cocky. The Panthers being punched in the face, punched in the gut here in the third quarter.
Torrey trying to allay some of those nerves, but taken away. Robertson the long pole, a nice nifty spin. Then takes a tumble in the end, now holding that backside. We're going to stoppage down on the field, hoping that Billy Robertson for TCU is able to get up on his own accord. Doesn't seem the most serious, but certainly in a bit of pain as he'll walk over towards the sideline. If you're Chapman right now and Joel Callis, you mentioned it part of the game, punched in the face, punched in the mouth in this third quarter. 3:35 left. What are you looking for heading into the final?
Well, I think you just got to get to the fourth quarter here at all possible. You got to be able to relay a message to your guys to make sure that they know that they are the better team out here. Make sure that they believe that. Make sure that they, feel confident in themselves, because at this point, you cannot let heads go down. And sometimes that happens when you've been punched in the face a little bit.
We saw these Panthers several times last season. They had the lead at halftime, unable to come away with those key victories down the stretch. Losing some of the mental battles, we saw it start to affect some of that team morale. And as we mentioned in the open, 2-6 in games decided by 2 or fewer goals. Seems like we're on that trajectory here tonight.
Absolutely does, and the bench just a little bit too quiet for liking here.
Miggins with that masterpiece of a goal, triple teamed and taken away. School on the scrapyard. The reverse nearly put TCU in front. Second time that we've seen Ryder Peterson go for style points, and it does not work out.
Absolutely going for style points. You've got to see one of those. It feels like fall at some point today, Nico. Not there, though, but TCU, they just seem like they're putting in a little bit more work than the Panthers are, getting ground balls, getting faceoffs, and it's leading them to be able to get back into this game at 8-8 now.
Fernandez flips it out for Leahy. Leahy carves inside. TCU in front. The Horned Frogs have climbed all the way back, and it's a 5-1 quarter. Texas Christian up 9-8.
Lucky Leahy on the line says, give me that bottom corner where we have seen TCU attack so often tonight, and it's just not quite there from Sugar at that bottom sort of third of the goal tonight. Panthers, they need to find a way to punch back quick here.
Big face-off coming up here for Chapman. Eric Torrey had Kavanaugh's number in the first half. But Big JC has certainly shown his stature in this third quarter. A flag will go against the Panthers, and everything going against that red wave on that sideline.
Absolutely, and the red wave just silent here. It's almost like it's just a minute wave instead of the tsunami that it was in the first half, Nico. And TCU, Kavanaugh, making his name heard so far here in the second half, because a first half where he lost faceoffs, where he wasn't the guy that you expected him to be coming to the game. Well, third quarter, he has shown up in a big way, and it's led TCU back into it.
Coach Callis, you just saw there, looking shell-shocked. Nearly a flip around and a turnover against TCU. Gives Chapman a little bit of breathing room on the defensive end.
Full team feeling shell-shocked, it almost feels like here. You mentioned it. Just, they couldn't quite get in those close games wins last year, and those are the ones that separate good teams from being great, and the Panthers haven't gotten there.
Flag flies as Rosselli evades 4. Yet another flag will also fly. Too many men in the zone for TCU. Cutler. And another flag flies on the backside. And my goodness, now it's becoming a football match here at Wilson Field. Let's check on the dirty laundry, but Chapman certainly with multiple opportunities coming up to get back in this game.
Absolutely, the Panthers. This is how you get momentum back. Get penalties against the opposing team, get yourself back into it. This is your opportunity. This is your chance to go out there and score.
Holden Walker a bit banged up after that one. Tyler Pandis and the Chapman defense looking for answers.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how Holden Walker can get himself a little bit more involved today. Been such a good player yet last year and so far this year, but just hasn't been on the mark today.
I'm going to translate. The monster came off the hot dog.
We'll see what the call is.
We're down 2 for 30. We're down 1 to have the ball. 2:37 penalties on TCU, 1 minute for Chapman.
We'll get 2 30-second penalties against the Horned Frogs, a minute penalty against the Panthers. Those two essentially canceling out. However, Chapman will have a one-man advantage. Despite Holden Walker waiting in the penalty box, see Mac Rodvold as well as number 32, Chase Springer, San Juan Capistrano native, waiting in the penalty box for TCU.
More space here on the field, Nico. Going to be interesting to see how either one of these teams will be able to take advantage.
5 red shirts out there, make it 6 with Sugar, only 4 in the attacking zone for the Horned Frogs. Miggins waits his time. We'll see Rodvold come back into the game just momentarily. Dropping in for the Horned Frogs. As it's a 6-on-5, off the pipe once again. Peterson inside, stopped by Sugar. And a crease violation against TCU. How big was that from the sophomore?
Massive moment for him, and he needed it today. Hasn't necessarily been at his best today, but he takes his moment and he shines with it, and the Panthers get out of some chaos at the back end there.
Anamoto leaves it out for Pandis. Wardell can't collect, and TCU potentially with the final chance of the third to make this a 2-score game.
30 seconds.
Guarcio was given the runway. It will stick with TCU with 27.7 left on the clock.
Check that, see what TCU.
Substitutions coming in for the Horned Frogs. It's been a 5-goal quarter for the Horned Frogs. A tangle up right near the crease. Pandis was down in there with Mercer Fernandez as a foul will go against the junior. Nervous looks on that Chapman sideline.
Nervous looks all over Wilson Field here for Chapman fans and players. TCU just controlling the game right now. Panthers controlled the game, played their game in the first half, have not done that here in the second half.
Rodvold has led the charge in his 4th year with the team. Leahy straight into the safe hands of Ryan Sugar. A long heave as the horn sounds. Chapman comes away unscathed in the final possession of the third, but TCU have rallied back from 3 down at the half to be up 5 goals in the third. They lead by 1 heading into the final frame. What do you expect, Mahal?
Well, you're going to expect both of these teams to come out firing. We've seen both these teams just want to punch in the face, punch in the gut. Panthers did it early in the first half. Couldn't quite do it there in the third quarter because TCU climbs back into it, and they are looking to pull out a miraculous win from what felt like nothing at halftime. TCU punching back. Chapman trying to get themselves back into it. You see the faces of the Chapman players trying not to get down, trying not to put heads down, and trying to get confident and cocky once again.
Callis trying to rally this squad. First time that they've faced this kind of adversity. We asked about who would be able to step up. It seemed like a collective effort from TCU. Not necessarily asking for hero ball if you're Joel Callis, but who are you looking to quell some of those nerves after being punched in the face?
Yeah, I think you just got to look to your best players, your experienced players. We've talked about Adam McDonald all the time today. The junior is experienced and was leading the team with 5 points heading into today. Have not seen him be involved really at all today. So how can he get involved? How can others get involved?
Very fair points there from you, Mahal. Panthers looking for answers, have not been socked, quite frankly, in the mouth like this all season long. It's been easy pickings for them against Northeastern and Cal.
Yeah, you got to say, well, you never want to give up that many goals in a period. You never want to let a team really get back into it. This is the adversity that good teams will go through at certain periods during the season. You got to have the opportunity.
Joel Callis, Clay Iggeman had this team looking good through 2 games. It looked like it was more sunshine and rainbows on the horizon in that first half, but the Horned Frogs proven why they're top 25 in the nation once again. Their best season in program history, 10-3 last season. And they're on a mission to prove that was not a one-off. Certainly have been up to par here tonight.
Absolutely, looking for a statement win here in orange.
Kavanaugh's tumble to the turf gives TCU first blood here in the fourth.
Panthers defense looking to get back into what it has been so far this year. Third period, third quarter, not what they wanted. So how can they be themselves here? How can you be the team that you expect to be, the team that you want to be?
Here come the Horned Frogs. Biggins. Shimmies to his left. Flip out. No one there to meet. And Sugar stood tall as that shot sails just over the bar.
Yeah, you can see Wilkinson there for Chapman, just trying to get his teammates on the right page. Too much space there for the Horned Frogs.
Hernandez. Biggins loads up. Yet another rip from TCU, and the shot starting to pile on against this Chapman defense, and the wear and tear starting to show.
Absolutely, just trying to get a homing missile to get home there. Just couldn't quite bring it into net. Sugar not needing to do anything there, just a little bit too high, too far.
Inside feed once again, finds the iron. Third time tonight that TCU has hit the bar. And with the Panthers down by 1, a chance to tie, let's send it down to Ryan Kaiser on the field.
Thanks, Nico. Yeah, I'm here on the ground where, TCU is leading Chapman by 1 point. Now, Ryan Shugart is still go ahead and defending that goal. So it's interesting to see, we know that he's a really strong goalie, but maybe there's perhaps some burnout. There's a couple other goalies that Chapman also has, like Jack Duffy, the junior goalie from Napa, California. And then, of course, they also have another one that they could possibly use as well. So we'll see if anything changes in terms of their strategy as there's 13 minutes left on the clock for the last quarter. Back to you, Nico.
Have to wonder what's going through the mind of Joel Callis, Ryan. Ryan Sugar, it's come up big time and time again. Have to imagine that he sticks with the SLC Freshman of the Year unless something goes quite off the rails here in this fourth. Rosselli denied on the entry pass. He'll stick with Chapman in the offensive zone. quiet second half with only 1 goal in the third for the Panthers. McDonald looks to change the shift. Coleman comes up big once again.
Nice move there. Just get up on top and fire a shot. Good save, though, by Coleman, and the Panthers looking to punch in one here.
The goalkeeper, the unsung hero of this second half so far for TCU. A rip into the top corner. Cutler connects, and Chapman level at 9.
Cutler cuts into the heart of the Horned Frogs. Panthers right back into this game.
I mean, you can't place that any better, partner.
Absolutely not. Just firing it into the top corner. Cutler leaves Coleman no chance, letting that one go top left corner.
Confidence booster for Chapman, a reality check for TCU. What do both these teams have? Is Eric Torrey finally able to come away with one here in this second half? That has to be a big one also for him in terms of his self-esteem going forward.
Absolutely. You've seen the face-offs play so key in today's game. Periods where Chapman has been able to win the face-off battle, they have just thrived. TCU win the face-off battle last period, they thrive, they get back into this game. Panthers looking to get ahead here for the first time since middle of that third quarter.
Champion backpedals, now pitches out for Sabri, who has Enderle and Brody Boehm here in this fourth quarter, the third line. Getting some big minutes in the final frame. Second all-time matchup between these two teams. That first one went into overtime. TCU came out on top 16-15. Champion has 4 tonight. The rip just beyond the right post of Coleman.
Champion just trying to make it 5 and play champion for the Panthers.
Enderle with 95 points from Moore Park. As that goal gets waved off, Joel Callis first tried to protest and then realized, okay, team's got to get back right now. That ball jarred loose, still with TCU after the fact. Nifty flip there from Ryder Peterson. And a timeout taken by Brody Cummins, an early one here in this fourth quarter as this game tied up at 9 apiece. Both teams trying to strike that next blood and make sure that they're the ones going out on top with a ranked win.
Absolutely, that next goal can play so huge. Just sort of punch. We've talked about punching each other back and forth in the mouth, in the gut, whatever it may be, whatever you want to choose. Well, next goal in this game is just a punch to the heart. You always want to be playing ahead. You always want to be able to control what's happening in this game, be able to feel like you're on the front foot.
We take a look at that last goal from Jack Cutler. Came through when it mattered most, and Chapman certainly needed it after allowing 5 unanswered goals in that third.
Absolutely, just firing it like a rocket into the top corner on that goal. So the Panthers, when they've been able to find space offensively, they have been able to score. They have been able to thrive. In the third quarter, though, when the Horned Frogs just sort of took away space and they sort of became the suffocating defense that we've talked about Chapman being, it allowed them to get into this game. It allowed the Panthers not to be able to have the shots that they like and just not play their game.
You see the sophomore rallying the troops. Already a big-time leader on this squad, just in year number 2. Meanwhile, for TCU, you saw Zach Serpolo, the defensive coordinator, alongside Brody Cummins, the head coach, making sure that everyone for the Horned Frogs is on the same page. Ryder Fernandez and Mac Rovold trying to get things started once again for TCU here in the fourth. Peterson. Toss up for Miggins.
TCU been more patient here in the second half, trying to find the right shot.
Osi gets underneath the armpit of Miggins. That ball nearly skates away from Sean Leahy. It's been a collective team effort in this second half that has allowed TCU to come back. Peterson, upper 90. Texas Christian takes the lead once again.
Taking the lead is right, and they do it emphatically. Nothing that Sugar can do to that shot. Just a rocket into the top bin.
The inside cut. And Peterson, the jump shot. Sugar thought he was going for a bounce up and in. Instead, the Horned Frogs back in front here in the fourth.
Yeah, the Horned Frogs use that bottom sort of bounce shot so much.
Torrey looked for glory himself. Still with Chapman, Brody champion, 4 goals today. Just 2 goals for the Panthers in this second half. No one's really been able to find that groove on the offensive end the same way they had, putting 7 past Cooper Coleman in that first half. Walker waits his way. Back to the junior from Colorado. Face to face with Lee. Walker, a slip. Now a dip, outside, Champion, inside feed, just beyond the left post.
Going to be interesting to see how Chapman sort of approaches this, and as this game sort of comes down to the wire, whether one of these teams presses and takes wrong shots that really aren't the highest percentage that they want to try and get.
Rosselli put it on a highlight reel. A rip of the rope has this bench going once again. It's tied 10-10.
And that's how you get back into the game. What a shot. Coming out of nothing, just taking it on the back. Looks like he's going away from goal. Well, no, he's taking the goal for himself.
The great escape for Chapman. Off the back of Ethan Rosselli, who opened the game in the first 35 seconds. And the Panthers back with life here in the fourth. Torrey and Kavanaugh once again in their duel. And that tango, a feisty one. That will come back TCU's way. This Chapman crowd cannot believe it.
Gotta say though, although the Chapman fans don't love it here at Wilson Field, that's the type of energy you want. You want the crowd to be involved. You want them to be something that adds to this game, adds to the energy of the players.
A tournament environment all the way in February. Long range rip. Fernandez, closest one to it. Panthers were 2-6 in close games last year, decided by 2 goals or less. TCU 3-1 in the same scenario. That rip, Sugar comes up huge.
Panthers just trying to show that they are a different team than they were 12 months ago, trying to show that they have the makings of what it takes to be a good, if not great team, a top team here in the MCLA.
2 big games coming up against Cal Poly and Michigan State. TCU trying to take down Cal State San Marcos tomorrow and leave California with back-to-back wins. Rosselli sells the fake. Wardell dances at the 25. Cutler from the wing. Coleman once again.
Coleman confident, seeing that all the way, just drops down, takes it away, doesn't let anything get behind him. He's going to have a big role, just as well as Sugar is going to the final 10-ish, 7-ish minutes here.
Different air to him in this second half after conceding 7 in the first. He takes his shot. Maybe not exactly the look Brody Cummins would want there in a tied game in the fourth.
No, I don't think so. And we talked about getting sort of antsy, feeling the pressure. That might be it. Going goalie to goalie is never what you want to do.
Holden Walker will hold things up for Chapman. Let the cavalry arrive with Tate Wardell Ethan Rosselli in the midfield. Brody champion has proven his worth so far tonight with 4. Hat trick for Ethan Rosselli. Spins, maneuvers, the flip inside. Off the bar, it skates out. Did that go in? It looks like 2 officials are disagreeing on the play. The far side official might be saying that that one went in. The near side official waving it off. Either way, Rosselli took a tumble in the end.
Panthers crowd doesn't like it. Referees just talking to each other, trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Let's take another look, Mahal.
Looks like bar to me, Nico.
Looks like bar. They might be asking for a penalty as Holden Walker got tackled in the end.
And they're going to get that penalty.
Fortunate break there for Chapman. A chance to go up by 1 on the power play. What are you looking for here with the extra man?
Don't force it, Nico. That has got to be the first thing you think, first thing you say. Don't play hero. Be a team member, set up your teammates, move off the ball, and create the right opportunity, and then take it and make TCU pay.
Best scoring personnel out there for the Panthers. They get a full minute to operate. Joel Callis, nervous moments for him. Reginelli. Champion. Good rotation so far from TCU. Panthers simply looking for that gap of space. Wardell lines it up. And Chapman comes away with nothing on it. Rosselli might have been the closest one to it on the diving effort. Either way, TCU gets a fortunate break and a chance to take the lead with under 6 left in this one.
Absolutely in for a great 6 minutes here to end this game. Both teams just looking to punch the other. Next goal plays crucial to the final 5-ish minutes of this game.
Carlo Miggins. TCU taking their time on this offensive possession. Peterson, he's made his presence felt. Sugar saves again.
Sweet Sugar coming up, sweet and nice right there. Coming up clutch just when the Panthers need him the most.
That shot had a little bit of spice, but the sweetness, as you mentioned, from Ryan Sugar keeps this at a tied game. A flip of the field. Peterson spins, inside tip. Ryan Sugar saves, put back up and in.
TCU take the lead on a great goal. Fantastic save by Sugar, but good follow-up. Get in the right position. Make sure you're working for if it doesn't quite go in, and they get one past Sugar with 4:50 to go, and it's 11-10 TCU.
You have to feel for the Chapman netminder. Bonks off the head. It seems like everything has been averted for a moment. And the putback from Luke Pay makes them pay with the deposit. That puts TCU back up by 1. It's 11-10. Eric Torrey rolls it back. He'll get clobbered, somehow sticks with it. These Chapman players certainly have been taking these hits very well.
Absolutely.
And they're going to stop what could have been a Chapman fast break opportunity. Player down on the pitch for TCU. I believe that to be Ryder Peterson, the freshman out of Denver, and he clearly seems to be in a lot of pain right now. Peterson able to sit up on his own accord. Definitely not the way that you wanted to see these final 5 minutes begin.
Absolutely not. Good to see him get up on his own accord there and start to walk off the field.
Told coaches when he was getting recruited, he prides himself on his game IQ, that team play. Has showcased that so far tonight. And while he may not have 5 points like he did against Baylor, he certainly has had his fingerprints all over this game on the offensive end.
He absolutely has. Good to see him jog off there. Looks like he's going to be all good. Now he can get back to play. Panthers looking to tie this game up with 4.5 minutes to go.
From the corner comes Champion. Flip out to Rosselli from Wardell. McDonald at the 25. Rosselli, stop and start. Cutler. And taken away, he took his lunch money. TCU comes up with a big defensive stop and then turns it over right away.
And that is not what you want to do there. Make a great defensive play in your own goal area, and then you just give it away right back to Chapman, who have their guys on the field and are able to try and set up another offensive attack here.
Fewer of those in the second half for TCU. However, that one could come back to haunt them with a second chance for Rocco Reginelli and Chapman. Wardell. Inside scoop, had it knocked out of his net. Spin move from Cutler. Taken down and finally scooped by Springer.
TCU just slowing it down here. 3 minutes to go. They're just trying to get another goal, put the final punch in, and get themselves away from Orange with what would feel like a miraculous victory if you told them that at halftime.
Panthers led 7-4 after the first 30. It's been a 7-3 second half for TCU. Kick-started by a 5-goal third to come all the way back and lead by 1 heading into this final frame.
The Panthers just haven't been able to punch back like they were able to every time TCU sort of punched them once, maybe twice. Panthers always punched back bigger and stronger in the first half. They have not done that at all here in the third and fourth quarter.
Fernandez spins, now cuts on Pandis. Miggins. Met outside. TCU traces the arc.
10 on the shot clock here.
Wind down, Leahy straight into the safe hands of Ryan Sugar.
Sugar quickly gets it out. Panthers mounting an attack here, trying to get something going. They need a goal, and they need it quick. 2 minutes to go here.
Last time these two teams played, the only time these two teams have ever played, 4 years ago. It went into overtime. TCU came out on top. Can Chapman find some late game heroics? Or at least find a way to tie? Or will TCU take this one in 4 quarters? Joel Callis will talk it out with his team. Minute 28 left. And you have to wonder, everything seemed to work in the first half. Some things have worked in this second half offensively, but certainly TCU's defense and more importantly Cooper Coleman have come to play in the cage.
Absolutely, Callis just trying to get the right call here. TCU came out firing in the second half. 7-3 run here in the second half to get themselves into this game, get themselves rocking and rolling, and trying to come away with a W here.
Chapman is one of the most exciting young offenses in the country. Brody Champion, Ethan Rosselli, Adam McDaniel might be the most senior one out there as a junior. As we take a look at that last goal to put TCU up by 1, a scrappy goal. And Luke Pay makes the Panthers pay for not putting a man on him, his second of the day. Currently has the Horned Frogs out in front by 1.
Yeah, you see him just able to get sort of to the top of the crease, have open space, and well, the original shot doesn't go in. He's right there. No Panther reacts. He just punishes him.
Point blank range for pay. If you're Chapman down there on that sideline, every single player on that offensive side knows the assignment from Clay Eggman. If you're the defensive side from Joel Callis, you have to wonder what's going through their minds after being punched in the mouth in this second half. As we were mentioning before, exciting young offense for Chapman. Who are you looking for with this final minute 28?
There's just so many guys. They have all the guys that they need. Jack Cutler, Tate Wardell, Adam McDonald. These are the guys you're going to look to. Ethan Rosselli. They have all the guys they need. But you got to imagine Brody Champion, 4 goals on the day. You want him to make it 5.
Top line out there for the Panthers. Brody Champion has 4. Rosselli has a hat trick. Jack Cutler with the biggest goal of the game so far in the 4th. Cutler lines it up and scooped out by Coleman. TCU can now play the clock. And a timeout taken by Brody Cummins. The Horned Frogs have reason to celebrate.
Horned Frogs, 52 seconds away from victory. Shot clock will be off. The Panthers gonna need to find a way to get the ball back. Otherwise, the Horned Frogs just gonna be able to drown out this clock and drown out the dreams of victory for the Panthers.
TCU waltzed their way into orange, knowing they had 2 games on the slate here in California. Seemed like they might be headed to Cal State San Marcos, one of the top teams in MCLA Division II. With their first loss of the season at halftime instead, Brody Cummins, Matt Johnson, Zach Zerpolo, Jack Nixon have rallied this team all the way back down from 7-4 at half. And they lead by 1 with 53.2 left on the clock. I mean, if you're the Chapman defense, you know you need a stop. How do you get it is the answer with clock not on your side.
And you got to imagine that you got to be aggressive here. I think Panthers going to have to try and get a stick-to-stick contact here so that you can get that ball back. Get it on the ground, be able to pick up a ground ball, see if you can get the other way quickly, and see if you can move in transition and get a goal with space towards goal. TCU, when they've set up their defense in the second half, have been able to take away all the space. It has been dark nothingness for the Panthers offensively in the 3rd and now the 4th quarter.
Chapman still with a timeout left. If they're able to get the stop they need, one final opportunity for this offense to come through in the clutch. Mac Rodvold gets us back underway for TCU. Hanamoto and Mills come to meet with the deep holes. Chapman claiming that he ran out of real estate. And they'll say he did go out of bounds. 40.5 left on the clock. The Panthers with a chance to tie this game and send it to overtime.
Panthers getting the personnel they need on the field going forward. 34 seconds.
Walker. Wardell. And that timeout. Or excuse me, are they going to call a violation against Chapman in the end? It will be. And is that how the Panthers game ends this Friday night? Fernandez. Clock continues to wind down. And a flag flies. That should do it. Dirty laundry spilling out on that far side. And TCU have summited the mountain here in orange.
They turn the tables, TCU, in the second half, and the Panthers are just shocked. Just a few seconds left, and TCU just seem to be taking away the hopes and dreams of a 3-0 start for the Panthers.
Handshakes before the horn. The ball flipped out. Skies into the night of Southern California. And Cooper Coleman, with the big second half, gets to celebrate. Horned Frogs win this one 11-10, and it's disappointment for the Panthers as they drop their first of the season.
Absolutely, and Brody Cummins makes some changes at halftime, and they come in to Orange, California, and they take it away in the second half. He may be young in his coaching career, Nico, but he looked experienced as ever in the second half there.
10-3 last season, the best season in TCU history. And a 2-0 start has this team flying once again. They began 5-0 last year, and it feels like this Horned Frogs team is here to stay for the near future.
It absolutely does. They show their guts. They show what they are made of in the second half. Comeback wins are how you start runs, how you show what you're made of, and how you make yourself a good, if not great, team.
Meanwhile, for the Chapman side, as we take a look at some of these highlights, TCU with the big second half comeback after being down by 3 at the half. That 5-goal third, really the engine that got everything started. Mac Rodvold, certainly the senior, was one of the catalysts of that offense.
Absolutely. Felt like it was a little engine that couldn't in the first half. They turned the tables. Little engine that absolutely can in the second half.
Meanwhile, for Chapman on the other side, you have to turn the page heading into Cal Poly. Always a tough opponent for these Panthers. Lost to them on Valentine's Day, broken hearts in overtime. But this is a team in Cal Poly that Chapman knows they can beat from years past. How do you move on to next weekend with Cal Poly on Friday and then Michigan State coming up next Sunday to begin March?
Absolutely. I think it's, you take the night. You're going to feel what you're going to feel about it. It's never going to feel good to give away a game that you feel like was just so in your hands in the first half. So, feel the feelings, but then wipe that, turn the page tomorrow, get back to work, and make sure you are the best team that you can be next week.
A lot of promise from this Chapman face-off unit in particular, especially in that first half. You saw the early infraction against Joseph Kavanaugh. He had his struggles in the first half for TCU. Eric Torrey, Ryan Beach getting the party started, and it was a physical game throughout this one. And the Horned Frogs able to find that missing piece in the very end.
Yeah, just able to find the space that they didn't have in the first half for shots and just create their own opportunities and do what they had to do. You see it here, just firing away.
Leahy from long range, the left-handed finish. Puts it past Sugar. Saw that one there from Cutler. But it was TCU in the end, in that second half, who found their rhythm. Ryder Peterson, a late injury in the game. Hope that he's all good. And it's Luke Pay with the game winner. We mentioned it time and time again. And Cooper Coleman, a nice little howl to the moon as TCU takes it in regular time. 11-10. Joel Callis cannot believe his luck here in Orange.
Absolutely, and it's just shell-shocked. Those are the emotions that the Panthers are feeling today. And for TCU, you go into half, you sort of end the second quarter decently well, but you start the third quarter just how you want to, and you do exactly what you need to do and show what you are made of and who you believe you are is really the true TCU.
You mentioned it in that third quarter, making sure that those heads don't hang low. Those heads certainly looking like they're hanging low right now for these Panthers, trying to turn the page onto next week against Cal Poly and Michigan State. Take on a few more top teams from the WCLL and other conferences, and then you get into SLC play where the moneymakers certainly come to play for this Chapman squad.
Absolutely.
As we'll send it down to the field, where our very own Ryan Kaiser is waiting with Mac Rodvold, MVP of this one.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. Okay, I'm here with Mac Rodvold. He's our most valuable player, MVP for tonight. Mac, how does it feel to win away from home?
It was great. It was great. It was a long travel day. Woke up at 5 o'clock. It's always fun to grind that win out.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
In the last game, you scored 1 goal against Baylor. What did you do differently to prepare for this one?
Against Baylor, we played against the zone, so we're just playing great offense. This game, we were just playing it. Everybody was eating. Everyone was scoring. It was great. It was great offense.
Yeah. And how do you think your teammates help set you up and prepare you and really support you for tonight's game?
Oh man, we play a emotionless offense. Everyone is super unselfish. It's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you had a good game today, Mac.
Really appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good night. All right, we'll send it back up to you guys.
the leader of this squad, once again coming through in the clutch, the senior, with the big game, the MVP performance, and for TCU, they can walk away knowing that San Marcos, always a tough opponent who actually beat TCU last season, they have a chance to come away from California 2-0 and start off this season with a perfect 3-0 start.
Absolutely, and that's just how you got to start the season. You always want to start your season right, and being able to pull out a victory from what felt like the depths of despair tonight, well done from TCU.
Texas Christian, what a performance in this second half for Chapman. It's back to the drawing board after starting off 2-0. Joel Callis and this team will go up to Cal Poly Slow next Friday. And with that, for our producer Lindsey Johnson, our director Milana Yanev, my partner in crime, Mahal Domingo Anderson, I'm Nico Schwegler saying so long from Orange, where the final score is TCU 11, Chapman 10. Thank you for tuning into CSBN, and have a great rest of your weekend.